Hello, welcome to Creative Conversations. I'm Gabriel Caubalejo, and with me today I have
Gabriel Caubalejo.
And today we're going to talk about
creativity.
Good. Sounds like an important topic.
Very.
Yeah, I hope so. Good. This is about art and being creative, so I guess we're going to talk about creativity.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we're going to ask you some questions. That's how it's going to go, and hopefully you have some answers for us about creativity. Good. Or this is going to be a very short interview.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So our first question is, what works have you brought to show us today?
So I brought some in-class work and stuff that I brought from home. So this is my mural project. This is my Picasso project, and these are little works that I've worked on over the past couple of years.
Quite amazing. Quite a lot of color and quite a lot of detail, for sure. So how does creativity apply to each or some of these?
Creativity applies to these because it takes a lot of thinking and a lot of testing out stuff to be able to produce something that you would want to show people or you would be proud of.
So how did creativity come into play into this mural painting, for example?
So I kind of took details and aspects from different artists and kind of made it my own. And I think that's how this came about.
Good. So what elements did you borrow, for example?
For this piece, I chose some aspects of Gorky, like in the dotted smudge lines,
Yeah.
and some Kandinsky in the yellow and blue circles. And I made it a point for it to have eyes and some mild mouths like Miro has in his painting.
They certainly stand out, don't they?
Yeah.
Kind of unique pieces. It's interesting you said you know how you kind of made them work together. When you said that, I instantly looked at those yellow stars with the blue smudges. And I looked at the dotted lines there that are also smudged out. We've taken two very separate elements and kind of put them together. It makes it very creative. The interesting other thing is, if we looked at all the mural paintings or washes, there isn't another one like this, right? Certainly makes it unique or creative. So, what is it that makes your work creative then?
The work is creative when you put your time and effort into it, and you really thought about it, and you put a lot of aspects that you learn or you've seen in daily life into it.
So you pull lots of things and kind of assemble them.
Yeah.
So is there a process to doing that?
A process. I think that yes, there's a lot of process. There's research and thinking about what you should do, and drafting and outlining. And, yeah.
Okay, so you got to take an idea and really generate it and work with it, don't you?
Yeah.
Good. So, as part of that, what would you say is one of your sources of inspiration?
Sources of inspiration, I think that I find a lot of inspiration from nature, from music, and social media. Like when I scroll up through social media, sometimes really interesting art pieces pop up, and you get really inspired from that. So
Yeah, I can imagine. Lots of examples, right?
yeah.
A world we didn't have before, choices or examples to be able to see. So, having said that, do you have an artist or creative superhero which you might draw as an example?
Yeah, I do. Her name is Audrey Kawasaki, and her art is very whimsical, and they include a lot of portraits, and they're very creative, and they use a lot of different mediums, and yeah.
Well, obviously, from your work, we can see that you take a fancy to portraits. Is there a particular reason why?
I think that I'm able to be. I think of more things to do with portraits because people's faces always change, different emotions and different aspects and styles that you can put into it. So I'm very fond of portraits.
And they can be very powerful. I mean, there's almost 3 or 4 different styles of portraits right there, right?
Yeah.
You might say that's maybe one of your strengths or something you have a strong certainly must fuel your creativity. So, obviously in a perfect world, creative's 24/7, right? Just rolls off the tongue and off the fingers onto the canvas. But we don't live in an ideal world. What happens when you find it difficult being creative? What do you do?
When you find it difficult to be creative, you kind of just stop sometimes because you get overwhelmed of all the things and all the thinking that you do. And it's okay to stop, but I think during that break period, it's okay to do like little doodles or research some stuff or look at art, because you have to keep it going even if you're not really doing anything big or working on really important art pieces. It's good to keep it going just to keep the flow.
Kind of like feeding the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. So when you're in the creative zone and things are working really well, what does it feel?
Fantastic.
Good.
Because you can basically do whatever you put your mind to, because when you're creative, you're able to think of all the things you can do, all the things that you want to do, and all the things that you can make.
Yeah, it's empowering, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So what does it mean to be creative then?
To be creative is to be able to think of the things that you want to do and to put it onto paper. And to be creative is to be also open to other people's ideas and to find inspiration from different things in nature or in the world or to other people.
Or social media.
Or social media.
Yeah, good. So research, process, progress. 3 dirty words of art. How do they relate to creativity?
Research is important because
did we talk about research? Well, you mentioned it briefly. So have you done some research? Did you bring your sketchbook?
yes, I have.
Good.
I think I do have research.
Oh, good. I hope you have some research.
I do.
Okay. So what kind of research do you do to fuel your creativity?
For research, when I look at artists and their work, I find details in their work that I can use in my own. And I make it a point to put it on somewhere on a page and to make sure I can use it for later to see what I can do with it.
So this page looks a lot like your mural painting. Is there some research or something you pulled from it?
Yeah, I was really intrigued by the eyes that he used and some of the patterns and shapes that he used. So I made it a point to put those in the actual work that I did.
Yeah, really creative or unique ideas, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's borrowed, it seems to fit what you were working with, your main idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, for certainly. Well, that's good. Process.
Process is important because trial and error is important when you're an artist, because you learn and you grow through these problems and mistakes that you do, and through that you learn techniques and new skills.
So in doing the Picasso there, how many rough drafts did you do?
I did about 2 or 3 underneath all that painting.
Yeah, and the eraser come in handy?
Yeah.
How?
If I didn't like how a draft turned out, I just erase it. Or if I liked the overall, but I didn't like a specific detail, I would erase it and put in something that I would like to see.
Yeah, it's nice to have that option, right?
Yeah.
So are you more creative? Sorry, I'm going to finish with progress. How does that relate to creativity?
Progress, it's kind of like the last stretch of your artistic journey. From the beginning of research and gathering all the information and skills that you would like to put in a piece. Then progress, how you made it and how it came about, trial and error. And progress is when you see all your effort, all the skills that you learned into one piece.
Yeah, you kind of go, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a chance.
Something.
You betcha. You created something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you more creative alone or in a team?
I think it's both, because being in a team, you're able to feed off of other people's energy and other people's work and their skills and their style of art, and you can put that in your own work and make it your own. But creativity is also a personal thing, because you need to be able to work on yourself, because creativity is your own style and your own work, and you need to keep practicing it for you to be able to be better.
It certainly involves your own thinking and visualizing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. So do you have any advice for those of us out there striving to be creative?
For creativity, I think that even though you're in an art block, you have to keep going, even if it's just little works of art or little research, and asking people advice about how to get out of the art block that you're in. And being creative is the starting point of all art. So.
Yeah, it's the place from where it's born, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So here's your final statement, Gabby. How important is creativity?
Creativity is important because, like I said, it's the kind of the basis of all your artworks, because from creativity, that's where you find what you want to do and what you like to have in your piece. So, and even in the beginning, also in the middle, during your when you're creating your art, being creative is also important, because how you do it and how you try to achieve your pieces is important.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't do without it.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you very much for joining us on Creative Conversations, and thank you, Gabby, for your wisdom on creativity.
Thank you.
Take care.